Cornell Diehl opening night. A delicious blend of the finest red and bright Virginias pressed to perfection and sliced into flakes. No one's going to convince me that a Secret Service detail would overlook the outskirts of the outskirts of the rally grounds and surrounding buildings. I would have known that those places don't need to just be looked at, but they need to be guarded. And you would have to place snipers on top of those buildings also. The fact that this 20-year-old kid out of nowhere happened to get past, mind you, many people at the rally were screaming about it who noticed him, and it went completely ignored. It just doesn't add up. The optics here are not adding up to me. Furthermore, if it was just an inside job, that's what most people would say. Well, the Secret Service was in on it. Okay. So the cabal manages to go to all the trouble to get a shoe in on the Secret Service, or perhaps they were already there. And they orchestrate this entire thing. And instead of putting a real fucking marksman on the roof, they put a 20-year-old kid who can't hit a target at 135 yards. Bullshit. Something just doesn't make sense. You could take any backwoods fucking hick, Southern Texas seasonal deer hunter, and he would have hit that shot all day long. So why go through the trouble of orchestrating it just to put some bozo on a building who misses his target? I'm just saying, I'm going to give it time. I've already come to some conclusions about it. I'm not necessarily really going to speak on that, but I don't believe what we're seeing. I think we're seeing optics. I believe what we're seeing is what we're meant to see. Put it that way. Doesn't make any sense. Anywho, I am smoking some Cornell Diehl opening night in my Brian Dorn poker pipe. Brian Dorn poker pipe. Poker pipe. Poker pipe. I like that stem. I smoked this for like 3-4 days in a row last week. And I'll just let you know, it's a wonderful straight Virginia. It's priced well, it smokes well, it's flavorful. I'd love to see it with some real age. It's great. I gotta say, as far as cellaring goes, I've mentioned it before, I'd rather cellar deep than wide. So I think for me, I'm going to find my 10 favorite blends and cellar those deep. And you might be surprised, just to name a few of the ones, and it's probably going to be kind of cliche. It's just the way it all works out. But first off, I've really been enjoying me some straight Virginias and some vapors. There for a while, I was on more of an English tear, but I gotta say, the ones that I would pick right now off the top of my head would just be, it would be a Scudo Golden, Orlik Golden Sliced, LJ Peretti London Flake. Those three would make the list for sure. I think Haunted Bookshop would make the list. And I gotta say, and it might be surprising, as much as I've gushed over Boswell's Northwoods and Boswell's Countryside, I like those blends. I'm not entirely sure those blends are gonna fare well with real age on it. There's something, there's like an eerie, wispy something that I feel like is added to the tobacco, a casing of some kind or something. Time will tell. I have a hard time believing it's going to be the same thing in 5 to 7 years. Now, I could be wrong. I'm sure there's people out there that know better than me. But I need to smoke those again. I feel like the Boswells, Northwoods, and Countryside could easily make the list. They would make the list, assuming it didn't change with real age on it. Another reason they'd make the list is, if I remember correctly, it's fairly affordable. I can't remember. I think it's like $60 for a pound, if I remember correctly. Haunted Bookshop is even more affordable. I love that about Haunted Bookshop. I just wish I'm ready for them to start selling the cakes in bulk form. Some blends I rushed out too soon and got bulk on, and the reason that is you come into this pastime and you start really developing, you fall in love with blends you've never had and you think it's really good. But because you've had limited experience with many other blends, you find out the ones that you thought were amazing were actually more middle ground. And it's too late, you already bought a pound of it. And I'd say the Mac Baren Navy Flake, again, I'd have to put some real age on it and re-smoke it. But the Mac Baren Roll Cake, I think, and the Mac Baren Navy Flake, I purchased that in bulk. Those were probably two reflexive purchases that, it was just symptomatic of the simple fact that I was a new smoker, and at that time when I smoked it, it was doing something special for me. But having experienced the blends I've experienced since then, I think I've come to realize that was somewhat of an impetuous act on my part. And the thing is I'm doing this at a time where prices keep going up, and no one knows what tomorrow is going to bring. And so my hand has felt a little bit forced into making some hasty decisions. But in hindsight, I look back and it's like, I never really needed to do any of that. Now, I will obviously still enjoy the blends. I never would have purchased it in bulk had I not enjoyed them. But at the level I enjoy a lot of these other blends, like I just mentioned, I'm telling you, the last time I smoked Orlick Golden Sliced, and it has 4 years of age or whatever on it, that was just hitting all the tickers for me. And I know it's trendy and everyone likes it, but there's a reason for that. And it just did things for me it was just so ultimately satisfying. The fact that it's affordable, I really love. And I'm sorry, I was looking at some Escudo the other day, and it's like $17.50 for those small cans. I'm getting to the point with Escudo where I'm going to start bitching about the Escudo like I did the Capstan Blue. It's just like, you're getting too full of yourself. You need to stop. You need to calm down. And there could be other things inside that process that make that more expensive, but I doubt it. It's like, are you really making more money making it more expensive? Wouldn't more people just buy more amounts of it if you made it more affordable, and they wouldn't be afraid to cellar it? I don't know. It just makes you wonder, like, who's... I know companies typically will go out of their way to invest the time into those types of analytics and those study those forms of study to figure out what works and what doesn't. But it just seems to me you'd sell more at $14, $15 a tin than the 17 something, and in the long run I don't know if that you're actually making any more money. You're just pissing off your clientele base. Anyways, it burns great. I do allow a little bit of drying time, not because it's moist, it's just moist enough. I've discovered drying a little bit is probably the way to go. I've yet to experience any issues drying. However, I have experienced some issues not allowing a little bit of dry time if it was a little moist. And it smokes cool. It's pretty. It tastes great. Smooth on the retro hail. Great out of the tin. It's not one of those straight Virginias you need to go add real age to enjoy it. So I'm very curious as to how nice this will be with 5 years of age on it. I would cellar it, and I would cellar it deep. Well, I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. I don't want to keep you any longer. I'm just getting one on the list here, or on the record. And that's it. Hope everyone has a great Monday. Well, great Sunday night. And a wonderful week. And I'll see you later. Bye.